Okay, so 77 factory non-sunroof Backdate. Weighs 2,130 pounds. Aluminum hood, aluminum engine lid, properly installed backdated front slam panel so you could have the proper hood and safety latch. RSR 72, 73 style RSR strut mounts, and then our custom bar we put in. The look initially my uncle was going for was like an early ST, like a 70 or 71 ST. That's why we have the regular T front bumper on it, not the, S style front bumper. It's that, T look. We've got H4 headlights. All the turn signals are restored. New lenses. If I'm remembering right, John Audette did them. He's a friend of mine, lives over in Bend. As we're just looking in the trunk, we'll start there, and then we'll go to the suspension. So obviously, 100-liter Dansk brand new gas tank with the 100-liter fuel sender, which was calibrated with all the gauges when they went to Palo Alto speedometer. I had them calibrate that and test it to make sure they work, because they don't all work out of the box. So we did that. We clearly have modified the tank. My uncle's original ST, this is how you filled it. It was a factory ST, and you opened the hood to put the gas in. Obviously, we left the beautiful G-body supports that give it the rigidity. Anti-gravity battery, super lightweight, 15 pounds. The front of the car is modified for a future. If somebody wanted to add another front cooler in a super hot climate, if you wanted to add a front cooler to the Fender wide mouth Carrera cooler, which does have a fan on it, which actuates at 195 degrees, it wouldn't be hard at this point to add a front cooler. What else? Oh, backdated. Everything is backdated as far as the fresh air, just like a early car would have. The fresh air vents, everything's backdated. And so is the dash, which we'll get to when we go inside. Original orange bar hood badge. That's not a fakie or a repro. It's original. Everything on the car is new. Everything, all the hardware, everything's been restored, or it is as new. So if we stay to the front, heading to the back, we go to the suspension. The control arms are brand new Dansk control arms, and I've removed the bushings and I put the elephant spherical front bushings on, which are, all about those. They're the best. Very expensive, but they're the best. They don't add any vibration or anything into the car, and that's why I'll use them. And then the camber plates, obviously all restored. That is elephant rubber, sport rubber. And the torsion bars are hollow, sway away, hollow, 20s in the front, and in the rear are also hollow 26s, swayaways in the rear. I never overbar these cars. That people make that mistake all the time. I don't do that. The sway bar in the front is the kit that I sell. It's the reproduction of the 18 millimeter factory early turbo setup through the body of the car behind the gas tank. So it looks 100% factory. It is also hollow. Not a lot of people know that, but that bar is made special for me, and it's a hollow 18 millimeter factory looking 930 turbo, and then I use all the other Porsche sway bar hardware, so it looks 100% factory. The steering rack, of course, all restored. Struts. Struts are Bilstein struts, sent to Elephant, and spindles raised 16 millimeters. And restored by me, repainted, restored by me, and then Bilstein HD inserts. Suspension in the back, you've got replated, restored SC adjustable spring plates, again with Elephant Sport rubber. Brakes. The brakes, again, we wanted to do, keep it lightweight and do that early look. So we did the S calipers. They're restored by P&B. All the brakes are restored by P&B. So you got early style, 72, if you will, early S calipers. And in the rear are the stock calipers, but also restored by P&B. All the brake pads are Porterfield R4S's, which is their street autocross pad. All the wheel studs are 65 millimeters. Those are factory Porsche steel wheel studs. But the lug nuts are Danny makes them, but they're titanium, open end, a little bit longer, open end lug nuts in their titanium. All the trim on the car has been restored by King of Trim. So the window frames, the quarter window frames, all have been restored. The front windshield is a brand new, they're made by Pilkington. Pilkington owns Sigla, but you'll see the Sigla logo it's a brand new windshield, brand new rubber, brand new trim everywhere in the car. It's all new. The vent glass and the door glass is all brand new. The car obviously has no trim on it. We filled all the holes and we enclosed the rear part of the bumper here for a nice finished look. No bumperettes, of course, because it's too heavy. Anything that's heavy did not go on this car. Again, early chrome engine lid grill because we were doing that 70-71 look. The engine is a 3.2 short stroke twin plug. The long block was built by Mark Young of MFI Works. Great engine builder, and obviously he's the MFI pump master. But we wanted to go with modern, obviously Bosch Motec fuel injection. So we have Gamroth's bolt-to-head throttles and Bosch Motec. It's all Bosch EFI. And we've got the tall stacks with this custom, I call it an SCRS looking air cleaner. Engine, like I said, 3.2 short stroke. What makes it a short stroke, obviously, is you go to 98 millimeter bigger pistons and cylinders. These are JEs, but you use the 70.4 millimeter, stock 3-liter crank. This is a JB distributor, twin plug distributor, very expensive. The engine dynoed at 255 horsepower, I believe. This is bolted to the 77, which is another reason this car is so light. It's the last year of the magnesium case, but it's the more reinforced mag case. It's the 77 is the one everybody wants.
The gearbox.
Yes, and it has a short, completely restored, obviously rebuilt, and we always do a short second, third, and fourth gear. I keep first and fifth stock because you need your freeway gear going down the freeway. Okay, always keep fifth and first stock, and it has it's probably a guard limited slip, probably 80%. We'll verify that through Jeff. Of course, aluminum pressure plate, sport clutch, Sachs sport clutch, all that good stuff. Custom around the M&K exhaust. You can see it's all custom. A lot of work goes into that, obviously. Doing the custom aluminum license panel to fit around the M&K exhaust. So sweet the way it does. Oh, the wheels are 7 and 8/15s, and these were restored by Harvey Weidman, the man, with the frosted RSR finish. The interior is all obviously restored and brand new. The carpet is the Hargarn, expensive, nice Hargarn, black and gray carpet. Obviously, rear seats removed, lightweight partial shelf. Under the carpet, though, is the, it's called jute. So if you look at the back of this car, you'll see how perfect it is. There's no dips or dives. Everything is perfect. And that's because we use lightweight foam. We glue it in, and then we sand it down and mold it to fill all the dips, holes, and valleys. And that's why it's perfect. And then we lay that jute material over it so that then when the carpet is laid down, it's absolute perfection. If you look at the way Porsche did it on the club sports and shit, they just glued carpet in and it looks like dog shit. The seats are GTS classic seats, so Steffen's seats with a blue and black and white houndstooth. They're all leather, and they are the RS style, if you will, RS seat. Super comfortable. Brand new real seat belts. Restored e-brake assembly. Again, everything on the car is restored. From the e-brakes to all the cables, everything is new or restored. That is a factory short shifter installed in obviously the 915 shift tower. The door panels are my custom door panel. Leather. These are leather. This is my custom door pull and door thing here I like to do. These are the Lakewell reproductions. They're pretty nice. The dash is that like later G-body dash without the speaker, and we just recovered it. So no speaker hole, no nothing. Again, lightweight. Just like the STs would have. No glove box door. Believe it or not, those are extremely heavy. No radio, of course. None of that bullshit. Not even an ashtray. You could put one in if you want. 370 millimeter vintage prototipo. That's an old one. It's vintage. It's not a repop. Sometimes I build an entire car just around the steering wheel. All the gauges custom done by Palo Alto and obviously modified for the Bosch injection. The TAC has the autometer stepper motors in it, which is a very expensive upgrade. 180 mile per hour speedometer, 10K TAC, everything restored. Like I said, the fuel thing, the fuel gauge was calibrated to that. Brand new. And the floor mats, we didn't go cheap on the floor mats. It's the expensive Hargarn carpet. It all matches. All new A-pillars. Brand new, obviously brand new headliner. Went black for that like ST look. Brand new lights, interior lights, brand new visors, brand new rear view mirror. The pedal cluster was completely restored by Bruce down in LA. He's the guy who does them. Puts all new bushings in them, bronze bushings, restores them, repowder coats them. All that's new. Everything in the tunnel is new, obviously. The throttle bushings, clutch cable, everything's new. Everything's new. The flapper boxes were restored. So they're brand new, restored by me. Brand new SSIs. That's why the heat is so good. The oil cooling system. So you've got a Carrera wide mouth cooler up here. I custom make the brackets to fit them and everything. It does have a electric fan on it, which is super cool. If you're sitting in traffic, when do you need air? Sitting in traffic on a hot day, that fan will turn on at 195 degrees. I put a lower temp sensor in there. And that is wired in, obviously, to the front trunk over to the panel there. And then a factory lines going back to a factory thermostat, which then goes to, the restored, that's 100% restored oil tank done by me. Gamroth cleans them, and then I repaint them. Oslo blue. 4 coats of Oslo blue. Obviously on top of the primers and epoxy primers and everything we use. RS flares. I forgot to mention that. These are factory RS flares. Glazrit 22 line, because we can get the good stuff in Oregon. This is the solvent-based, can't get it in California. Glazrit 22 line, Oslo blue. Front fenders, actually my uncle got these from Ed at Kundensport. My uncle is friends with Ed at Kundensport, and before I really took over the project, my uncle had these fenders. He wanted a nice little bump out, if you will, just a slight little custom flare in the front fender. So he took the fenders to Ed, and Ed did that, hammered and dollied out this beautiful, little custom flare, and that's what gives it this cool look. And then he backdated them as well in the front there, and then did this nice little bump out. So it's really a custom. This is a lightweight custom hot rod. It's what it is. It's, believe it or not, even though it's a G body, it weighs 2,130 pounds with, I think, 6 gallons of gas when Jeff did it. It's meant to be lightweight, but still have the stiffness of a G body. That's the whole concept of this car, was to have that G body, lack of rust. This car had 0 rust, 0 accidents, so it was a perfect specimen to do this. And but you keep the G body strength with all the lightness, obviously, with the aluminum hood. And when we do a G body, we cut off all that extra metal, especially in the back, that is used for those rear bumpers that the G bodies have. We've sliced all that off. We completely removed it from the chassis. It's another reason this car is so light. We leave it up front, of course, because you want it in the front trunk. We leave those reinforcements. But all the heavy shit that holds on those stupid late bumpers, okay? We cut all of that off. We remove all of it. That's another reason this car is so light. When we started this build, P6000s they were available. The P7s weren't yet. You could go either way. You could run the 225 P7s if you wanted to do that. But this car has the 195 P6000s in the front and 215s in the rear. And they're actually pretty fantastic tires, and they really look good on this car. And since I use 65 millimeter wheel studs, you could always play with spacers. If you wanted them out a little bit further, you could. If you wanted the fronts out a little bit further, you could. That's why I use the long wheel studs, so you can always have fun and play around.